Hi guys, greetings. Chris here, founder of GIP Squared. This is lesson 5 in our What is Money series. Today's topic, the 2008 financial crisis. Let's talk about it. If you're not familiar with it, or if you want to have a better understanding, there's a great movie called The Big Short. It explains everything in that movie, so that's what I highly recommend. So the financial crisis, what happened is the garden hose finally collapsed. That's what it needs to do. It needs to collapse, and it did it in 2008. The problem was there wasn't a new garden hose ready to go. But what's interesting here is in previous lessons, we talked about the orange juice container, and we have a 3% intrinsic, actually it's at 2.95% intrinsic value. And again, what that means is the value of the dollar versus to 1913 before all this happened. All right. So the current monetary system is at 2.95% intrinsic value. But what I found interesting, I actually did this today. I didn't know this till I did my calculations. When the financial crisis happened in 2008, I went back to my calculator and calculated it out. It crashed. That's what we want it to do, right? We want it to crash. But at that moment in time, the intrinsic value of the US dollar, according to my calculations now, is between 4.6% and 5%, right? So again, it collapsed. What we're doing is we're still using the same garden hose. Why? Because the new garden hose was not ready. Okay, so who's bringing in the new garden hose? I am. That's what I'm doing, right? I'm teaching you about this, what is happening, and bringing in the new garden hose. But with that being said, another thing that I want to talk about is what's interesting is since the 2008 collapse, does anybody recall what happened in 2009? That's when cryptocurrency was brought into the world. Bitcoin was in 2009, okay? That was to bring in the monetary system, right? But what happened was, this is my perspective now on cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency is part of the problem right now because they were to be a transaction tool. They're not a transaction tool. Everyone's buying it as an investment tool. Okay? Are you aware there are 53 million cryptocurrencies right now? 53 million cryptocurrencies. Can you imagine walking into a supermarket, let's say a cola, having 53 million colas to choose from? That's insane. You follow what I'm saying? So that's the problem. Cryptocurrency, Bitcoin was on the right track, but they went off their path of being a transaction tool. They went to the stock market. And that's all people are doing is they're buying and selling cryptocurrency as an investment purpose. So here's my question to you. Those of you who own cryptocurrency, let's assume how many monthly transactions do you make? Probably on the low end, 50 transactions a month. Again, what's a transaction? Getting a haircut, buying a stick of gum, buying a cup of coffee, a gallon of gas, buying a new pair of shoes, buying a new microwave. Those are all considered transactions. And most people probably have 50 transactions on the low side, and let's say 100 transactions. So let's use 100 to round it out. Okay, if you make 100 transactions a month, if you own cryptocurrency, you're supposed to be using your cryptocurrency for all 100 of those transactions. So my question to you, cryptocurrency owners, how many transactions a month, if you have 100 transactions a month, are you using your cryptocurrency for? I bet you it's pretty close to zero. I already did the calculations myself. Most of the world is only using 3% of all transactions across the globe using cryptocurrencies. 3%, that's it. Okay. But you people who own cryptocurrency, are you even doing 3%? Or are you doing less? So that was the purpose why cryptocurrency was brought into the world. I just found that to be interesting, where we were on track and now we're not. But here's what I'm doing. Okay, cryptocurrency is a digital ledger technology. GIP squared, I'm taking the digital ledger technology. That's what I'm going to be doing, is bringing that in and using it as the tool, as a transaction tool. That's what I'm doing, getting us back to where we're supposed to be. The whole world is not using cryptocurrency for what it was meant to be used for. They're using it as an investment tool. It's not the right thing. Okay. Now let's talk about, so we know that the new garden hose wasn't ready in 2008, but that's what I'm bringing in 2026, the new garden hose, okay? Who is using the old garden hose today? Actually, everybody is, because there is no new garden hose yet. So the whole world, the whole entire financial industry is still using the old garden hose. And again, the analogy that I use, the old garden hose has 97 holes in it, right? 3% intrinsic value. What are some other, any organization, now the entire financial industry is using the old garden hose. Who else? Any organization or industry who uses interest and compound interest, they will be eradicated. There is no such thing as interest and compound interest. Who are the main bearers of that? The banking industry, they're going away. IRS, they're going away. Federal Reserve, all these organizations are being eradicated right before our eyes, okay? Anybody who's using the words currency and cryptocurrency, they are going away. Why? Because they are still using the existing garden hose. I'm bringing in the garden hose. I'm not bringing in currency. I'm bringing in DigiFlow, which is digital flow. That's what I'm bringing in. Who else is using the current garden hose? The accounting practices using double entry bookkeeping with debits and credits. That's being eradicated. I'm not using debits and credits. I'm using inflow and outflow. It's simple math. Compound interest and regular interest are going away. My system uses addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. First through fourth grade. It's very, very simple once you understand what has been happening on the planet for the last 200 years. We're going back to simplicity. KISS, keep it simple, silly. That's what I'm introducing. Okay? So I guess this is enough of my rant for this particular one, which is the old garden hose, and why the current system is going away, because it did crash in 2000. Oh, I do want to talk about this. All right. Remember the 6 words that we learned: bailout. So in 2008, when everything crashed in 2008, there was a huge bailout. A lot of these financial institutions got bailed out. And we know what bailout means. You're just adding more water to the system. Guess what these people were doing? A lot of them, they got bailout money from the government. Guess what they did? They bought their own private jets, vacation homes, and fancy cars with bailout money. That's what, go back and do your own research. You'll see that to be true. But again, go back. If you're just learning about these things, I highly recommend you watching the movie The Big Short. A lot of the stuff that I'm teaching you, you'll recognize in The Big Short. Okay, that's my rant for today. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your time and attention. I appreciate you. Like, comment, and share, and click the link below. All right, we're going to go to video 6. I have no idea what I'm going to talk about yet. All this stuff is coming to me, so I felt compelled to share with you the financial crisis. Okay, until next time, cheers, everyone. Bye for now. Peace.